You know what? Maybe this is selfish. The most important thing of a game
here we go
is that 12-second hit I do.
There it is.
In the bottom of the second.
Brendan saw it coming from a mile away.
He had the face on where when he thinks he's got one that he's going to dish out, he gets a little grin. By the way,
nice.
When you were up in the booth in the road games, and Chip, which was a really great quip, after Brad said, couldn't have said it better, and Chip lights in with, yeah, you probably could have. Was that you giggling in the background? I thought I heard a patented the cat giggle.
Those guys.
So good.
Those guys are funny. Those guys
so
are good.
Funny.
So I had to give them their. But Brad Thompson also made me laugh out loud when I mentioned Stella because he said on the air, Chip, I owe you $20. I had him saying in the second inning.
That is good.
That's great. Those guys are great, and Brad Thompson is really just genuinely
he is good.
Clever.
He is good.
I got a better question.
I should hope so.
I is better. Okay. And this is not for the people in the room per se. This is for the texters going back and forth with me.
They'll get back to you.
Would you rather have? I got scenario A.
Is this another bad question?
No,
he said it's a better one.
No, let him go.
Go ahead. Give him a chance.
Are socks necessary? Are socks really necessary?
I got scenario A, scenario B.
Go ahead.
Scenario A: the Cardinals win the World Series in a year where they do not perform the national anthem ever. Scenario B: you perform the national anthem before every game, but you have last season. Which season are you taking? Scenario A or scenario B?
What's wrong with
Gen
you?
Z, dude. That's what that
What's
is.
the matter with you?
You know, you just doubled down on stupid. You just doubled
What are you
down
talking
on
about?
told me you would have a better question.
Yeah, in their heart of hearts, they want scenario A, but they're posturing like they want scenario B.
You're like seriously, you're like the old guy yelling at the cloud. Like, what is it about the anthem that bothers you?
We've got 30 minutes out of the anthem.
It doesn't bother me. I like the national anthem. I'm just saying people are acting like
it's his favorite song.
Their number one priority at a ball game.
No, it just popped up and it was disrespectful, and everybody's like, "What's going on?" And there's different stories that connect with different stories, and the bottom line is they weren't out there and people were talking about it. And a lot of times they might think it's like a protest or something like that, so that's kind of jumbled in the mix as well.
But they've clarified that it's not a protest.
Well, they clarified a couple things that obviously aren't true. So I mean, I don't know.
They thought that Haley Van Lith could guard Caitlin Clark, and they had to clarify that wasn't the case either.
She did lie.
Well, LSU was the only person who thought, or the only group of people who thought they could guard Caitlin Clark.
I think it's fair for people to question it. I think it's fair for people to look at it, and I think they were not honest about not knowing when the anthem was. They knew. I'm not saying that it was a protest. It was part of the way they game prep, which is their right to do. Other teams do it, so I'm not killing them. But on the other hand, I think people have the right to look at that, especially with conflict all around the world, looking to see if a team comes out for the anthem and not happy when they don't. I think that's their right as well.
I think Cole is throwing it into a whole different, gotcha
dimension.
context. It's a different. You're trying to put it into a different context. Then we talk about it. It's a thing, but it's not. You don't have to take it to that next level of it's. You're not saying the anthem's more important than the game.
Because I'm trying to prove that this is a faux controversy.
I don't think. I don't agree with that. I think you're putting it into a different, unrelated context to try to prove a point that nobody is really trying to make. Nobody is trying to say that the anthem is more important in terms of your fandom than what happens on the field. You're just kind of morphing it in a very strange, to use Kat's phrase, Gen Z way.
Yeah, I don't even know what Gen Z is.
I don't either. I don't believe in generations.
Well, you just
they don't exist. Well, because one of you, it might have been Cam, but one of you guys mentioned. Okay,
I'm actually kind of curious.
I'm sorry, Kat. Two guys with C's in their name.
Is there not a difference between generations?
And Charlie,
are you kidding?
The generations.
Now I'm curious about this.
The generations as constructed, as society says, well, this one's millennial, this one's Gen Z. It's wrong. It's arbitrary. It's arbitrary the way that they come up with it. And Charlie and I actually, a rare podcast that we were able to do because he's so busy. We talked about it.
Wow, you're chirping.
Wow.
Crazy.
We talked about this the last podcast we did a little bit, and then I noticed he threw up a little YouTube short of our little conversation, our back and forth on his political YouTube channel. I just happened to be scrolling it, and I thought, well, that's cool. He put me. No, I liked it that I was part of that. I'm sure.
So what were you saying?
We split the
you
32,
got a lot of grievances.
We split the 32 cents on the YouTube short. I completely trust him.
You're saying, what do you?
We came to the conclusion that it should be based more on technological advances.
What do you call me?
The way because I think they say millennials is like 81 to 90.
Yeah.
Though Charlie and I are not, I would never say Charlie and I are the same quote-unquote generation, because we had completely different upbringings as pertains to technology and what was going on in the world. So, like, how do you arbitrarily lump those two people together? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it's decade, man.
Can I ask you a question?
That's a little better. Yeah, you're 90s kid. You're an 80s kid.
I grew up born in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s. Who's with me?
Right.
Charlie is. You're not. You're not. You're not.
I am not. I'm not either.
That's it.
I was born in the 20s. So what did
the roaring 20s?
What did
swinging 20s?
Swinging.
What did Tucker say about this controversy? So I know where to weigh in.
I haven't. I swear to God, and I know this is funny, but I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I haven't.
I don't even pay attention to it.
No,
there's so many other podcasts and stuff. I skip through them for some reason.
I don't watch it because if it's not like appointment television where I could sit there and watch.
I know.
But the difference is, like, you listen to podcasts and stuff. I don't. Which is my
busy.
It's because I'm an old and I won't change my fossilized ways.
All you gotta do is press
I
the
just
button.
don't. So I don't if it's like a lengthy thing on. That I see even on like Twitter that he posted, I don't watch it.
What do you, in the car you're driving around, what do you listen to?
Sirius radio.
Okay.
But what?
Usually,
music? Like
yeah,
what?
Usually,
what is it?
His own interviews
80s,
for
80s and 90s.
He listens to Cat's Corner.
Like, that's what I have. I have Sirius XM, 80s and 90s.
80s and 90s. Okay.
Yeah.
And no, I never go back and listen or look at anything I've ever done.
I do.
I don't.
I have to do it.
Because you want it to be better? You want to micromanage what you've done?
Well, sometimes I like to listen when it's a good show and I laugh my ass off.
It can be funny.
And then
I'd
other
listen to
time,
this segment.
with the podcast.
Are you laughing at yourself or Andy?
Well, I get pissed because more than anything because that's a 3-hour show here, then 3 hours with Andy, which is a different animal. Then I got to go back and listen to it again. So I listen to him. I'm always in a bad mood because I'm like sick of hearing myself talk, sick of hearing him. And then you got to do it over again for at least 2.5 hours. And I got to edit some things out that are a little bit slow. So afterwards, I'm like, God, that sucked. But then you re-listen to it again, and you're like, no, that was funny. I was just in a bad mood because I'm freaking tired.
It's a lot of work to have to go back. So you do that before releasing it, like you kind of self-edit.
There's a couple things that we go down. I'm like,
sure,
oh boy, like, okay, get that out of there. Okay, there's enough in there. Trust me. But so that Mondays are just draining.
I know when I mess up. Like I could tell you, like,
I don't need to listen back.
Second question, third.
You go
word,
for 3 hours.
I kick that word.
You go for 3 hours,
and I don't need to hear it again.
I'll do a YouTube live stream, just me, for like 100 minutes. And I don't need to revisit that. It actually isn't as difficult as you'd think when there are comments, because people give you the topics almost to talk about. I come in with, I did it after the game where John King gave up the home run. I came on and said, here's what I saw from the bullpen stuff. Here's what you didn't have available. Here's why Ollie may have gone to. And then I go from there and read by then I've talked for 10 minutes and there's comments and I can just kind of
you do it live.
YouTube live?
I've done a couple of YouTube lives. I did them last year and I want to do them more after road games this year.
Stroby does it live. Brad Straubing. So he's always like, it comes up on my feed.
Yeah.
Like, since I follow him.
What's he talking when he's
Charlie,
doing
that's about it.
Is he talking Cardinal stuff too, or
Howard Stern?
All kind of different stuff. But I see he's got it, and he's typing, and I guess he's answering. He's like, "Hey, Jiffy Pop 38."
Well,
like,
I'll see those, but I'll scroll and then I'll read their comment because people like to have their comments read, and then you'll address what they said if it's respectful.
Yeah, you could go for a long time doing that.
When they're giving you the topics,
exactly.
It's not the only hard part about it is. And again, it's not like I'm taking breaks. A radio show, presumably, we eventually have a commercial break. But you also have 4 people in here, so you're not just talking the whole time. But when it's just you, your voice at the end of that's like, oh my gosh, I need to get off of this.
I need to take a nap.
So
a whole nap.
It's a strain.
When I tape something for my YouTube channel, and if anyone watches
Cat's Corner, I believe.
I haven't done one in a while, and it's my bad. I was jammed up with stuff to do, so I got to get back on track. But I'll do 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, hey, no one wants to hear me. I better throw a prop in here. Hey, look, I got a gold Yachty Funko Pop because no one wants to hear. And then I'm thinking to myself, beyond that, as I'm talking, I don't want to hear me anymore.
The hardcores do.
I'm going to wrap this puppy up.
No, man. The hardcores want to hear you. And there will occasionally, do I get a comment that's like, get to the point, this didn't need to be 25 minutes? Absolutely. But I always reply to those and say, look, this is a free video to you. If you don't enjoy it, I understand. It may not be for everyone, but I can't look at every single comment and go, well, I'm going to adjust the way I do things because of this one comment. I have to try and do what I perceive as me and authentic and whatever it is that the way I go about doing it. So
now, if you're just doing a quick on-the-spot take on something that happened with the Cardinals, are you in your head, I got to go 12? Because I watch.
Oh, minutes?
This isn't directed at anyone, but I watch some of these guys, and they're better at it than me. They are better at it than me. But
so he does watch YouTube.
But they will. Well, they come up.
No, I know.
Thing,
you take a look at it. You glance.
And they're like, and so they're talking, and they look. They do the look away. They pause, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, I got to do that because they'll stretch it out before I get sick of hearing myself talk.
It's the delivery. I talk too fast. I don't take the pauses very well.
All right.
I do too.
I don't think to. It's probably something I could work on.
I like this one. Charlie's premium subscriber. Try it again. Charlie's premium subscriber. I can't even say his name.
One more time.
Welcome to my world,
Ken
baby.
Phelan in Poplar Bluff. Thanks for listening. The cat listens to 40s Junction on Sirius XM. I like
40s
that.
Junction.
What is that?
It's 1940s.
Did they have music in the 40s?
Yes.
I just told you I listened
were
to
there.
80s and 90s.
They had music in the 40s? Hell
They
yeah.
did? A waltz? Is it the waltz?
Hell, Elvis came a decade later, baby.
Yeah,
Changed the game.
I didn't know they had music before Elvis.
They did.
You said you were there, born in the
That was-
roaring
that was
20s.
just a joke.
Oh, that was facetious.
Yours-
You think Slew can pick up Bronny James, maybe?
Oh,
Did he
He's
transfer?
transferring.
That's right.
That's what they say.
What's that all about? I had
don't
that
know.
in my notes.
I don't care about Bronny. You know who I care about?
Putin, apparently.
Avila.
Tucker?
Well, I was just looking at this on
Avila.
Robbie Avila. He posted about 22 hours ago, proud to rep the South Side, excited to be part of the Shy Sox athlete class official NIL program for the White Sox. So he's got some kind of NIL deal with the White Sox that he's wearing their South Side City Connects. They're gonna have to fix that when he comes to St. Louis, right? The Cardinals got to get an NIL something. I don't know what this is, but it's not going to work when he's at SLU.
That's true.
So
Okay, guys, last chance to give a shout out for the St. Louis women basketball team. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock, they play for the NIT Championship at Vala Bean Center in Edwardsville. They will be on CBS Sports Network and FUBU. Thank you, Pecker. Probably not going to watch that, homie. Not going to lie to you.
they're in the championship game, though.
Probably not going to watch that.
And you know why it couldn't be at Chaffetz? It's
Why?
the Wayno
Wayno.
concert.
Bueno.
They made it all the way, and now, because the scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
jingle all the way.